Welcome again, my friend, to day 3 of 77 of my challenge to bike to work for the next 3 months or so. I hope you feel inspired to join into something similar, whether you walk or bike to work or do something similar. And please check with your physician if you plan to do anything like that. Make sure it's safe for you to exercise. I'm not giving here any personalized medical advice, although I am, as many of you know, a physician and a nutritionist. In fact, I'm going to work to see patients today, as I do every morning. And as my, inspiring but at the same time somewhat sad introduction to these videos is true every day, I comment on the disproportion between the number of people who choose to go to work by car versus biking. Although there's these 3 young'uns here going probably to school, so today is a great day. We already encountered 3 bikers. Here's a 4th one there, and I see in front of me a couple of people walking. So we've already hit a number of 6 here in the first minute, so that's super nice. I'm really excited about that. I wish more people would take advantage of this opportunity for exercise. Like I told you yesterday, you gain 2 hours for every hour of walking, 2 hours gain in life expectancy. And I wanted to address this issue of barriers or lack of motivation to exercise that a lot of people encounter. Because, we are all human, and despite the fact that in the Western world and here in the US in particular, there's a huge deficiency of exercise of any sort in the general population, we still don't feel the motivation, the urge to go out there and exercise for some reason. Here's the Rivian guys. Anyways, so why is that? And the simple answer to that, in fact, one of you commented yesterday saying that Americans will never realize the value of the cheapest medicine out there, which is exercise. And that's true for most of us. I think it's human nature. Maybe about 5 or 10% of people find a way to stay motivated to exercise regularly every single day. But majority of us, you have to have something. And in fact, I'll tell you a little secret here. One of the reasons I'm doing this challenge is somewhat selfish, in the sense that if I set this challenge, I said for 77 days, I'm going to bike to work, and I'm going to try, to hold myself accountable by posting a video of the way to work biking, at least every day during these 77 days, I feel motivated. I feel I have to do this. I have to stick with it. I have to report to you guys. So that's one way to try and stay motivated. Here's the 7th person at least coming out and having a look at this beautiful morning. So that's encouraging. Anyways, what I was saying is, it's human nature to take the easier way. If you have a car that's warm, fast, comfortable, you got music, you just hop in and go to work or wherever you need to go, even though you could be walking or biking, right? It's just the way we are put together and the way our mind works. And in ages past, and in fact not too many years ago, our grandparents' generation and before them, we didn't really have a choice, did we? We had to grow our own food. We had to take care of animals. We had to do a lot of physical activity, cooking, everything involved, washing your clothes, washing your dishes. Everything involved a lot of physical activity. I grew up in a world like that. I told some of you this before, but it bears repeating. I grew up in Romania where, except for electricity, we didn't have any of the conveniences of modern life. And we grow our own food, we had animals we had to take care of, and I remember my grandmother taking the clothes to the river to wash them by hand. So everything involved a lot of physical activity. And myself, even growing up, even in medical school in Bucharest, in Romania, using public transportation, I used to hop on buses, I used to hop on the subway. But in between, I would easily put 10,000 steps in every single day, running from one hospital to the other, to medical school and clinics and so forth. And fast forward to today, you know, people are born in this world and they have a lifestyle that kings and queens of the past even dreamed of in some aspect, right? With plenty of food, plenty of carbs, high processed, highly palatable foods, and they don't have to do any physical activity. And they come out and, as I say, they express frustration. Man, I can't lose weight. I don't know what's wrong with me. That nothing seems to be working. The big piece that's missing, and is not the only thing, you know, diet is certainly important, but the big missing piece, the great deficiency in the Western lifestyle is the lack of activity. And again, look around you. You see a person. Here is number 8, a green running lady. Very auspicious color for the spring. But how many more cars do you see than this person? I mean, literally, the ratio is very disappointing. Absolutely. It's a ghost town, not just here, but everywhere, except in big cities. And speaking of that, you know, I mentioned using public transportation during medical school in the capital city in Romania, 2 million people city at the time. I think one of the advantages, 3 more people in front of us, or 2 more people, no, 3. Great, 11 total today, so far. But one of the advantages of big cities, like I said, wow, 2 more, man, we are on for a treat today. But one of the advantages of these bigger cities, like I mentioned, is that you have to get out and walk some of the way at least. When you go out and eat, when you go to work, to school, to entertainment, whatever it is, it's harder to drive everywhere. As opposed to these small towns and cities like the one we live in here in Eastern Washington, where you can literally walk everywhere if you wanted, and you have sidewalks, you have bike lanes, you have all the, you know, the infrastructure to do so. And yet nobody seems to really consistently take advantage of it, which is so sad. Anyways, I want to encourage you to change this trend. I leave you with that admonition. Until tomorrow, you stay healthy and you stay active, my friend.